One of our favorite people on the planet is a guy named Bruce Orosz. That's him. Brenda's in the middle, by the way. He's the co-owner of Hollywood and Vine Cellars. He's also the chairman of the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau and the president of ACT Productions. Bruce, welcome to the show.
He needs a new job.
He doesn't do enough. That's the problem.
Good to be back as always.
Your job is going to be really busy over the next 12 months because
great.
February 2nd next year, we've got the Super Bowl at Hard Rock Stadium.
Yes, we do, and we are going to make it the best Super Bowl ever.
Ever.
100 years celebrating the NFL.
Right.
The most
Wow.
Super Bowls of any one city in USA.
Is there
Number 11.
Right.
And we're going to have a tremendous integration of all the activities from south to the north.
Wow.
It's going to be a tremendous effort that's been being planned already for 3 years.
Right, and remember, this is a community involvement element.
Right.
This is not just Miami or not Fort Lauderdale. It's the entire South Florida community. Rodney Barreto, the chairman of the game for us, of the host committee, told me the other day that you need 10,000 volunteers.
10,000 volunteers.
Right.
Which
So
is,
you can volunteer, go online to South Florida Super Bowl, and you can find a
You
volunteer.
can sign up
Yeah.
for
it's a South
volunteer.
Florida Super Bowl committee is where you find them. You know, this is the 11th, as you mentioned. We break the tie with New Orleans to get this. Stephen Ross put over $500 million into the stadium of his own money to be able to draw these games here.
Yep.
And that's the other exciting thing. I think the NFL owners are going to be really pleasantly surprised about what they see at Hard Rock.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, the Hard Rock is a beautiful stadium now.
It's a beautiful stadium.
And, it's very easy access when you consider it's about 15 minutes from downtown Miami. That's a quick, easy, short ride. And all the transportation systems will be going there, Lyft and Uber and all the
Brightline
shuttles.
will be.
Brightline is going up to Lauderdale. So, we've got the transportation system, and more importantly, we are Miami. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah, no, this is going to be a fun week. It's not just the day, it's an entire week of celebration that we'll have next year. Again, it's February the 2nd, Super Bowl number 54, the 100th anniversary of the National Football League. Let's talk about this wine for a second
Yes.
as we have this conversation. This is the first time anybody's tried the Chardonnay
Including
from
you.
2016.
Right.
What did you think?
I think it's great.
I do too.
I
No,
think
I do too.
Celia is a magician.
Yeah. What's Celia's last name?
They
Welsh.
they
That's
have
the winemaker.
a female winemaker, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah, and this has always been one of my favorite Chardonnays. This year, I think in particular, Bruce, you've hit it out of the park.
But it's always consistent. You always like it, but
Well-
at varying degrees. But it's very consistent.
You know why?
year from
We
year.
always get the grapes from the same location on the top of Atlas Peak for the past 20 years. This is our 19th year of the Chard.
And it doesn't taste like a typical California Chardonnay. It's very smooth. There's
Yeah,
no
it's-
edges to it.
No, it's really a great
I'm not
product.
a big Chardonnay drinker. I'm just not.
But now Atlas Peak, Napa Valley, of course, and that's where the grapes come from Hollywood and Vine Cellars. And you can learn more. In fact, check them out on Instagram at HV Wine, Hollywood and Vine Cellars, HV Wine. Facebook and Twitter, it's Hollywood and Vine Wine, so you can follow them there as well. Now you can buy this wine at top wine stores in South
Yeah.
Florida, and also at most of the top restaurants.
Sure. Yeah, we're in many of the fine dining spots.
Right, absolutely. All right.
Hopefully, we'll get into Tuya soon.
Yeah, Tuya would be a great place because I tell you what, that's a great one. It's the Miami Culinary Institute, a restaurant that
food
we
was
had on.
wonderful.
And this
it's
would be
terrific.
perfect with those scallops.
Oh, it would. We had a scallop dish, and that salad was great too with it. Where is the center, say, village going to be for the Super Bowl? Have you decided that yet?
Yeah, Bayfront Park will become Super Bowl City. Bayfront Park and all around, the entire complex that'll engulf, from the Perez and the Frost all the way down
To the Intercontinental, basically.
To the Intercontinental, yeah.
Right.
That will become the most active place as from a city perspective. That will be the Super Bowl nuclear
Like
center.
headquarters almost.
And-
Will they put parking around there additional parking?
Well, you know, that's all those challenges are being
Right.
sorted out.
And you're going to have a lot of transportation going there
Oh,
too,
yeah,
as well.
tremendous.
I mean, one of the great things is an Uber lot, you know, a Lyft lot, those kinds of things. Be able to
Right.
get people. It's a lot easier these days than it used to be.
Right.
I live in Miami Beach, and when I want to go to South Beach, I never take a car anymore.
Right.
It's just Uber or Lyft. It just drops you off, and you're in great shape. It's a lot cheaper than parking a car, and a lot
Right.
easier too.
And the trolley system is quite good, up and down Collins, and it moves around.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, me and my friends, many of my friends and my wife, we take it all the time, straight down Collins, straight shot to wherever on Collins that we want to go and eat, and then take it home.
Right. No, it's a smart way to go.
And it's familiar.
And
you meet
no
locals.
stress.
Right. A lot of the locals here, and a lot
Yeah.
of the tourists are going to start
You,
finding
you
it
wave.
Well, that's after the dinner coming back.
Everybody
Yes.
knows Bruce.
It's after
you know
that
what
bottle
I'm
of
saying?
2480.
You
is what
weave,
it
you don't wave.
Talk to me about the cab. Now, this is what year? 2014?
2014. This has been out. We released this year. This is 100% cab. It's got very high ratings, always by Parker's, Wine Spectator. If you're not a believer in ratings like we are, not. You
You're
have to
gonna-
just enjoy it for
Yeah,
yourself.
no.
It goes great with burgers, to steaks, to everything else.
I served this for Christmas dinner, as a matter of fact, with a tenderloin, and it was an absolute marvelous dish. The combination, it's a very deep cab with a wonderful nose on it. And I've got some older vintages. I've known Bruce for a long time. I started drinking 2480 probably in 10 or 11.
You know what
just
I-
great wines.
You know what I love about this is it stayed true to the old Napa California cab. So many of the cabs the last 5 years in Napa have changed, and this has stayed the same.
That's because we're a small production. We're like grandma's cookies, not bakery cookies.
Right.
You know, so we make small production, and Celia, manages it like a culinary chef.
Right.
She watches every single
Single-
thing that takes
right.
place.
Now, how many cases are you making of the cab, for example?
Cab is 1,200 to 1,400 cases,
And the Chardonnay?
depending on yield. 300 to 500
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
You also make a blend.
short ends, but we're sold out. We have been sold out now for a year and a half.
Yeah, it's a red blend. It's really a
That's
marvelous
really,
bottle of
really
wine, too.
great wine.
Again, you can find 2480 at your favorite restaurant or at your favorite wine store in South Florida. Ask for my name. It's hard to forget it. Tell us where the 2480 comes from, because we know it, but folks don't.
Yeah, so 2480, when we were trying to come up with an idea for a label that would jump off a shelf, we thought about, well, let's not use paper labels because A, you can't read them, or there's so many of them, you just get mixed up in the crowd. So we said, let's silk screen numbers. What numbers? So we couldn't figure out what to, we were thinking birthdays, the kids' birthdays, anniversaries, and we said, hey, wait, we're driving up my partner's driveway to his house, and his wife is an artist. We said, why don't we use the address 2480 as an homage to Maynard Amarin, whose home Doug bought at a probate, and Doug had his wine cellar and some textbooks. So we said, let's raise the bottle to Maynard Amarin. And he was a viticulturist and enologist and a professor at UC Davis, and taught Celia how to work with the soil. So what could be better as a story?
Yes,
That's
right.
It's kind of just an insider story.
You know,
Right.
the truth of the matter is, every bottle of wine has a story behind it, and that's perfect. You know, if you really want to impress your friends, buy a bottle of 2480, bring it out for dinner, and tell that story. And that's what people love. People love the idea of the story behind wine. Back to the Super Bowl. It's been how many years now since we've been granted the Super Bowl? It's been 3 or 4 years. hasn't it?
Yeah, we pitched them 4 years ago.
Right.
But the stadium was the big issue. And we were there.
Yeah.
You and I were there.
Yeah, we were.
We were drinking 2480
We were drinking
because
2480.
we didn't win.
We were at a restaurant called Scampo at the Liberty Hotel in Boston, and we did not get the game, in large part because at that time the stadium had not been redone and updated. And then Stephen Ross said, well, I'll pay for all of it. And he put, I believe, about $550 million into the stadium. The good thing is about 90% of the fans are undercover, so that if it would happen to rain,
Yep.
Most of the fans are going to be completely dry.
Because the last Super Bowl we had
It was
here,
raining.
But it was
a
brilliant
big
nonetheless.
downpour. Yeah.
Prince did Purple Rain.
In the rain.
And it was raining.
Yeah.
and the rain was purple.
And the halftime show next year, we talked about this on our morning show this morning. We're thinking probably Pitbull, Gloria Estefan,
Jennifer Lopez.
you know,
Gotta
well,
be in there.
Mark Anthony and all those kinds
Yeah.
of, you know, those kinds of things that represent who South Florida is.
Right, right.
Would be absolutely perfect.
Ricky Martin, is a
Yeah.
resident here.
Yeah, he's a resident there as well. So a lot of wonderful things are coming to South Florida, and I think this game is big. Have they made a decision about the Pro Bowl yet?
I have not heard the final decision
Right,
yet.
because they've talked about putting the Pro Bowl in the city where the Super Bowl is. and
Which
this-
we had
once before.
once before.
Right, and it's a great idea actually. I mean, it used to be in Hawaii. The reason they put it in Hawaii was because they had to convince the players to go. Right.
Right.
And back then, when we didn't make enough money, you know, to fly to Hawaii, it was like, hey, let's go to Hawaii. Wow, I never always wanted to go to Hawaii, and that's why they did it.
Brought to you by the NFL.
Right, exactly. A free trip to Hawaii, I'll
Right.
go.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how they got the players to go there. And now it's kind of changed because they can afford to go to Hawaii or any place else they want to go. And they're private planes. It's a lot easier than it was back in the day.
But it's also Live, L-I-V.
Right.
You
Is-
know,
right, for the
54.
four, yeah.
And what could be better? We have a Live Club at the stadium. There's a Live in
Club,
Fontainebleau.
yeah.
And you know, we know how to live in Miami.
Right. Well, and I'm sure that'll be a part of the whole deal.
I'm sure that's being incorporated into the collaterals.
It's
yeah.
the 100th anniversary of the NFL. The NFL started in 1920, and you know teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers were one of the original teams going all the way back to then.
Yeah.
I'd love to see the Dolphins in it. I don't know if that'll happen next year, but
It's 400 to 1 odds if you bet it.
I
now.
saw it was pretty high odds.
But hey, we got a coach now.
Yeah, we do. We have
Yep.
Brian Flores. I think he's going to be a great coach. By the way, everything I hear
Yeah,
about him is just wonderful.
I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, his press
And he'll
conference yesterday
rebuild.
was really good.
It was. But you know, I think the idea that maybe you would wind up with one of those original teams in the 100th game, in this, you know, it would be a terrific idea.
Oh my God.
No,
Oh
it
my
was.
gosh.
It'd be wonderful to have
It'd
it.
be so great.
Did you see the commercial they ran about the 100th anniversary with all the NFL stars?
I thought it was the best part of the game.
It was. In so many ways, and we were represented there pretty well with Larry Zonka and Paul Warfield and Larry Little. They were all part of it too.
You talked about that also this morning.
Yeah, I did. I just think it was one of the best things I've seen, and you know that's not far off of gathering of people getting together from the NFL.
How true.
It really is. It truly is. Sadly, what else do we have to look forward to from the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau? Anything else big coming up?
Well, you know,
It's
we
Health
are
and Wellness
we're a
Month.
big event town. We have a pop festival that's being planned for November, pre-Art Basel, a big one, a big 3-day festival. We have Art Basel, obviously. Food and Wine is this month.
Right.
Yep.
The boat show this month, towards the end of the month. Then we have Ultra, Key Biscayne, coming in March with winter music. I mean, this town has got energy and action from here on out. I mean, it's going to be a tremendous 2019 rolling right into
Yeah. And the
Super Bowl
weather's been
2020.
You know, I think the owners,
Amazing.
when they didn't give us Super Bowl the last time, they're a little disappointed because they love coming to South
Yes.
Florida. You know, in the middle of the winter, especially with the weather they've had up there in the Northeast and
Right.
Midwest, it's a great place to come. A reminder to you, 2480 Wines, the Chardonnay is marvelous. This is the 2014. When will this be on the shelves? Because it's brand new.
Well, this was a test for you guys, so I guess in the next month or two.
Next month or two.
But you can go online.
You can buy it direct. Yeah.
You can. Okay, that's
Yeah.
an important thing.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you remember the address?
HollywoodandVineWine.com.
HollywoodandVineWine.com. Do that because these things sell out
That's
very
gonna
quickly.
sell out, yeah,
As you mentioned,
for sure.
the shortcuts are you know been gone for 18 months, but these wines have caught on around the country because some of the ratings that come out, everybody tastes it, loves it, and you will too. But a wonderful Chardonnay and a great
And he lives
can.
here in Miami.
Yeah, he's
you know, and
definitely
he
here.
does nothing but support Miami.
You know,
so-
that's the funny thing, and he's also in the kind of production business in so many ways.
Right.
And his business partner, who was the partner in this as well, was a director. So they understand the television business and the marketing end, and that I think is such a large part of this. When people see this on the shelf, it's hard to miss. 2480. Bruce Orosz, 2480 Wines, and the Greater Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau. We'll be back with more right after this on Eat This, Drink That.
Go.